I'm just gonna turn my hot plate off. You could go though. Do what you gotta do. I'll be right back. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump right into the recap. I don't know if
Yeah, I'm good.
Will can't hear us right now, but he can read this later, or he can just figure out what's going on. So, all right. So let's see. So I shared it. If anyone wants to sort of read along. Last session was number 39. Called it A Decent Proposal. And the subtitle is, Does Anyone Not Have a Monkey Around Here? So, after leaving the Blue Water Inn, following a quick celebration of Erwin's release from the Baron, the party noticed that the townspeople were decorating for tomorrow's big festival. Spargle again suggested that they might find Blinsky setting up decorations around town. Everyone agreed that they wanted to question the toy maker further. Vasily excused himself for the evening after explaining to Deckard how these festivals usually go. He mentioned that the festival would start around noon in the town square. Usually there's some major event that the Baron hosts, and as the group aren't citizens of Vallaki, they probably aren't bound by law to attend the festival, but Vasily himself would arrive there around noon. And as part of their agreed-upon payment, Thoradin deftly tossed a bottle of wine to Vasily, who snatched it out of the air with impressive skill. Ragnar asked the group if they were planning to talk to Lady Wachter, who had previously extended them an invitation. They decided to see Blinsky first and then visit the Wachter house. They were split on whether to have Irina tag along or keep her back at the inn, so Alaric made the call, suggesting that she would be safer staying with the group. With a wink, Danica Mardukov reminded the group that they would be watching after them, implying the Keepers of the Feather, and in response, Thoradin started cawing back loudly, which Alaric promptly stifled with a swift blow to the back. The Mardukovs laughed it off, and Danica reminded them that the Wachter kids were a bit mischievous and were last seen heading towards the east side of town. As they stepped out of the inn, Ernst, Lady Wachter's agent, handed Deckard a formal invitation to visit the Wachter house later that evening. He mentioned that Lady Fiona Wachter had a proposition for the group. Blinsky's shop was just a few blocks away, so they headed that way first. On the way, they noted a lot of activity in and around the Baron's house, as the whole town seemed to be preparing for tomorrow's festival. Soon they reached the shop. As Juniper and Ragnar hadn't previously met the toy maker, the group decided to send them in to talk to Blinsky and his monkey. Before they went in, they debriefed Juniper about the cards that Madame Eva drew about an entertaining man with a monkey. Juniper suggested that she could polymorph herself into a monkey to see what she could get out of Blinsky's pet. Spargle planned to turn himself invisible and then sneak in to search around the shop while Ragnar distracted the toy maker. Thoradin, remembering the hat he bartered away from Blinsky, gave it to Ragnar to use as leverage. Juniper transformed herself into a monkey, Spargle cast invisibility, and then Ragnar walked into the store with his new pet monkey on his shoulder, which was now wearing Blinsky's hat. When they entered, the toy maker was enthusiastically building small wicker suns and tossing them into crates. As Blinsky spun around, he immediately became excited, seeing another monkey, and started shouting about both his hat and a friend for Piccolo to play with. Ragnar distracted Blinsky with his knowledge of the town and other lore, as the invisible Spargo used this opportunity to sneak around the shop. He quickly found the spot where Blinsky had suspiciously hidden some toys from the group and grabbed them. Ragnar continued to engage him as Juniper returned his hat with a little curtsy and dance. With the pleasantries now over, Ragnar asked him a few serious questions. He asked about the horse Bucephalus that they acquired from the winery, which Blinsky explained was one of his more familiar popular toys. Ragnar then asked Blinsky if he knew anything about a tiger, at which he explained that his only friend, the carnival man, who gave him Piccolo, also has a tiger. That his friend's name is Rictavio, and he's an older gentleman who stays at the Blue Water Inn. He gave them the monkey for free because the animal was not welcome there. Juniper then talked with his monkey, Piccolo. The monkey replied that he's been in this town for a few weeks. His previous owner was a nice man who traveled a lot, but he likes Blinsky and he likes the toy shop. The monkeys passed some farewell grins and squeaking back and forth as Ragnar and Juniper exited the shop. Spargle, sneaking on their coattails, slipped out the door. They regrouped with the rest of the party and then circled back to debrief at the Blue Water Inn loading dock. There was a horse hitched there in the barn, a beautiful, healthy gray mare. Thoradin licked its neck, of course, and to no surprise, it tasted exactly like a horse. When Spargle let his invisibility spell fade, everyone noticed that he looked a little bit freaked out. Thoradin asked, "Oh, the secret toys, what did you find?" Spargle pulled out several small dolls as they all heard Irina scream and turn white as a ghost. They looked down and saw that the dolls were made in the perfect likeness of Irina. Juniper jubilantly exclaimed, "Oh, look, somebody made dolls of you." Irina continued to stammer and shake, quite confused as to how this was possible. Spargle then remembered that Blinsky previously mentioned that these hidden toys were commissioned by someone who he was afraid to name. All clues seemed to point to Rictavio, who they connected to the older man who was seen coming to and from the inn. They asked the Mardikovs about this mysterious man, as it was getting late anyhow. Irwin asked the other patrons to leave the tavern, and once they left, he pulled a large lever behind the bar, and massive shutters slammed down around the windows, securing them. Spargle then asked what he knew about Rictavio. Irwin shared that they had been tracking this man because they were curious about him as well. They didn't have any concerns about him per se, but he proved hard to follow. They thought maybe Rictavio was investigating the Keepers of the Feather himself. They said he orders an apple and a wolf steak in the morning and leaves promptly at dawn. And he returns late in the evening, but that's all they know. With Rictavio not currently present at the inn, they decided to sneak into his room and see what they could find. The Mardikovs gave them the master key, provided they would not leave any evidence of their disturbance. Spargle used the key and searched his room, finding nothing of interest except a journal bound in red leather jacket. It described several stories that would seem to be associated with someone who would run a carnival, descriptions of travels and several oddities, as well as conversations with someone named Drusilla. They relayed this information to Irwin, who offered to up their surveillance of the old man and figure out where he might be going during the day. The entire group then made their way to the Wachter house to hear Lady Wachter's proposition. Deckard presented their invitation, and the door promptly swung open. They were soon greeted by the lady of the house, a middle-aged, maybe even older, noble woman with a broad smile. The room was warm and luxurious, if not a bit dated and worn. She presented a grand feast to the group, including some tasty cuisine, the likes of which they hadn't enjoyed since arriving in Barovia. Maids and cooks scrambled around to cater to the group. Lady Wachter responded positively to a rare bit of respect from Thoradin. The group made themselves comfortable and enjoyed the feast. Lady Wachter explained her offer to Deckard and the rest of the party. She knew Irwin had been captured, and she wasn't shy to voice her hatred for the Baron. She believes him to be insane and that he's wasting the town's resources on stupid festivals. She was aware of the party's capabilities as well, and that's why she sent her agent Ernst to see if the group would be willing to ally with her to displace the Baron. She stated that she believed her family had a right to rule the city, more so than that old fool Baron Vlakovich. She mentioned that the only reason the Baron still held his power was through the brute force applied by his henchman Ezek and his guards. She said she had a more pure bloodline and many friends and allies in town to support her. Ragnar asked more about Ezek, and Lady Wachter shared that the rumor was that Ezek lost his arm as a child, and it later grew back into that horror. She suggested that maybe the Baron adopted Ezek or otherwise took him in, but wasn't sure. Either way, he'd been with the Baron since childhood, and was an obstacle preventing her and her agents from taking the city over. She implored the group to take him out, and then she would handle the rest. When Ragnar mentioned Strahd, she suggested that he wasn't a threat to the town, but more of an absentee landlord, and reiterated that the Baron uses the people's fear of Strahd as a way to control them. She didn't seem afraid of Strahd and believed that he leaves Wallachia alone because of an ancient treaty with the Dark Lord that he still abides by, and that the festivals are pointless. She also mentioned that other heroes have tried to defeat Ezek to no avail, but he's just too powerful for agents to take out. But their group surely could be successful. They continued to feast on a massive roasted pork, candied carrots, fresh bread, and fine wine. Deckard negotiated, but when he suggested that they use Lady Wachter's resources to fight Strahd, she flatly refused to confront the Dark Lord. She hoped to maintain whatever ancient arrangements were in place to maintain peace and independence. However, she did offer to do whatever she could to help the group leave the realm once she was in power. Alaric and Juniper immediately agreed. Spargle seemed unsure of the offer. Thoradin and Ragnar didn't offer an opinion. So Deckard looked around the room to gauge a consensus, but then suggested that she send Ernst by in the morning, sometime before the festival, to receive their answer. Before they left, Ragnar asked her about Argynvostholt. At that point, the lady had Ernst produce an exceptionally detailed map of Barovia, better than the one they received earlier from Ismark. She couldn't part with it, but pointed out the old ruins for them. To sweeten the deal, she said if she were to assume power, she would give them a copy of that map and have her agents escort the party there. As the group left, she promised that Ernst would come by in the morning to hear their decision. They returned to the inn for a good night's rest. Some of the party thought they heard Juniper's voice chanting from outside in the middle of the night. And now you guys all woke up.
You should be an author, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. You turn our just fumbling episodes into a mini novel. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, our ramblings of lunacy.
Right, like when we're done with our session, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What was Matt peeing on? And then you're like, here it is. Let me explain it to you beautifully.
What was Matt peeing on?
Every week, it's like the recap of what I did when I was fucking drunk, and I'm like, oh my god, I did that.
Even like the thing you just wrote, like how he just you're sitting there reading about how you use the coffin lid, the like his divinely empowered coffin lid, and I'm reading it, I'm like, holy shit, he used a coffin lid to fight and stuff like that.
Smack a vampire
Love
around.
it.
It fit in with the pros, you know what I mean?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Mhm.
we can hear you.
Yep.
Do I sound like shit?
Yes, but we can hear you.
But we can hear you.
I'm so fucking over. I'm whatever. Oh my god. Why does
It's
it?
fine.
So it doesn't sound like I'm on a Yeti.
No.
Not at all.
Sounds like we're on TeamSpeak on Molten Core in 2004, baby.
Because my headphones sound like shit too.
Or
Yeah, it's probably your webcam mic.
It's
I had that problem.
We can hear you though.
I'm gonna-
That's fine.
All right, whatever. Gonna kill somebody. All right.
so
All right.
so we woke up in the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at? Are we in like a common area now, or are we still just like in our
Yeah,
bed?
I'd say you guys came down in the morning.
Is Juniper there?
Yeah,
Are you-
so Juniper comes to breakfast and she's looking super anxious. And she's talking really quickly. And she kind of mentions that she had been using her runes, not her favorite runes, just like the runes she had from backup. But like the ones that she had originally were back in the forest where, her tree burnt down. But she used her other runes. And she asked her gods a question. And they had provided an answer, and she got a really bad feeling about the festival that's coming up. So she pulls out her book and she kind of pages through it because she wrote down what the answer she had received was. And her question had been, why are children required to go to the festival of the Blazing Sun?
Oh.
And the answer that she received was, children attending the festival are flowers. Flowers are safe and will not be plucked by any raven, bat, or dog. Children absent from the festival are weeds. Dogs dig up weeds and drag them away, and those who cultivate weeds may never see the sun.
That's
Alright.
creepy.
That's creepy on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare zone. Got it. Now I know why
Cool.
everybody brings their kids to the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Got it. Makes sense.
She also
Yes,
kind of
yeah, sure.
offhandedly mentions that there may be a dead tree outside. She feels pretty bad about it.
Necessary sacrifice.
So, I don't even want to ask any clarifying questions because then I have to hear that terror again.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, the part of it that mentions dogs. I mean, aren't there? I know we have a werewolf in our party. Are there any other werewolves that Juniper should know about at this point that might be dragging these kids away? That might be under the power of, the person running the festival?
What is Izak? Doesn't Izak have a sorry, Chase, my annoying voice. Doesn't Izak have a nickname, something with the dog or something like that? Did he call him his wolf or something? Or why?
Underground.
Did he?
That seems familiar.
Unless we're didn't what?
I could be crazy.
Wasn't there a couple of guard dogs around Baron, right?
Yep. He has
The
two.
ones that I
crazy
tried to
men.
pet, and then he had to like.
That's
pull them down.
right. That's right.
I wonder if that's a reference.
Yeah, he had 2 big mastiffs or something like that
Yeah.
weren't. It's right. Jesus. All right. Well, that kind of the whole thing with the meal last night. I know I was a little nervous about what the lady of the house there was suggesting and stuff, but I mean, let's put aside for a second that we were kind of sort of volunteering to murder the mayor. She gave us food and things that we haven't seen since we got here. And I don't know how do you suppose she got that? How did she have something that nowhere else has, normal meats and stuff like that? That's not wolf or root,
Sure.
juice or something.
That's
Did you hear-
that must be. I mean, if she's throwing that at us, that's pretty serious, right? Like
I think it's
like,
seductive. I think it's just like everything Strahd, seductive and evil. I think she's like, did you see how she responded when we said we wanted to take him down?
She said she wanted to stay with Strahd in power.
Yes.
But she
She
wants
didn't want to upset the natural order.
She wants our
wanted to take
enemy
over.
to stay in power. You're absolutely
She
right.
also said that she would get us out of here.
Sure, anyone could promise that. We go murder somebody that she hasn't been able to do, and then suddenly she's just going to get us out. I don't know.
Well, it
I
sounds
don't
like
know.
we're gonna have to make a choice between the Baron and Lady Wachter, and the festival is today.
Yeah.
And the ruins that she pointed out on the map seem to be related to the Knights of the Silver Order or something.
Yeah.
And that's probably something we need for Strahd. But we can't go there until we have help. So we gotta maybe talk to somebody in town who knows more about Lady Wachter's history.
What do you mean we need help to go there?
She said they would have us. They would give us like an escort. I mean, we could probably go there by ourselves, but
We have a
No,
general idea, right? Of where it's at.
Yeah, she pointed it out on the map. So who knows what'll pop up though?
Yeah.
We could go there by ourselves, but this guy's going to come in the morning looking for our answer. So we might have to, at the very least, fake cooperation with them until we know more.
I mean, this seems like the most normal town, right? So I figured that, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the way it's being ruled, which makes me think, even though this Baron's probably batshit crazy and maybe he's not evil, but if this stuff that you just found out, Juniper, about like the dogs and all that kind of, if that is related to the Baron, that's pretty jacked up too, as far as from evil.
I think a lot of this we have to remember is it's going to come down to the lesser of evils, right? I don't think we've found that many people or living things here that have been good and wholesome. So I think we're just comparing apples to apples at this point and picking our best option.
Yeah, right now, other than the
Baron seems
Mardikovs,
shady
I
to
think
me.
everybody's
Yeah.
pretty dirty. Other than like Erwin and friends.
Yeah.
Isaac seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, it could be misplaced, but I do feel like I trust Erwin
Right now, I
you
trust
said with
both.
Isaac, in your recap, he's been here his whole life, right?
Lady Wachter told you that when Ragnar asked him, said that as far as she knew, he'd been like adopted or raised or taken care of by the Baron since he was a child.
And since she's known him, he's been malformed.
Yes.
Okay.
That the rumor was that he had actually was missing an arm. Shouldn't have a lot of detail. Was missing an arm, and it grew back into that crazy flaming claw.
Just very unexpected.
I'm gonna hit the head while you guys debrief.
Isaac, totally normal guy. Very normal.
I'm ready to go toe to toe with him. It's fine.
Oh, it's a destiny. It's a that's
We're gonna throw down. I don't like that guy.
it's you and Isaac right here, dude. That's
Except I'm the human, he's the orc.
oh yeah.
What if he's like that big dude in Thunderdome, right? And he turns out that he's just kind of some simpleton.
Oh.
Uh-uh. Nope.
You remember?
I'm picturing in the Warcraft movie.
Which movie?
Black-
Do I sound
Black
better
Hand.
now?
You do sound better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do
Stupid
you
ass
guys
iPhone.
want to fight this
I-
guy before
For
the
those
festival?
stupid wireless headphones from Apple. They suck.
Alaric's gonna fight him.
They work fine, you just gotta have your sound settings set up correctly.
I don't know. I think that's why I sounded like crap because I think it was
It was probably using like the phone connection on it, which is like kinda shitty quality.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you gotta
Like, I
turn
don't-
all that off.
everything sounded horrible.
Yep.
And I don't know. Whatever.
Just like my shirt.
Yeah. So did you get that custom made?
That's
So that's
great.
what I asked him too. I was like, did you get the custom made or did they actually sell that?
It's like one of those artist
That's awesome.
sites that yeah.
That is awesome.
He always wears a theme shirt for this.
Mhm. Yeah.
All
DM
in,
Dan,
yeah.
going above and beyond.
He really
Trying.
just does the whole experience.
Love it. I wish he was my dad,
Oh wow.
except he's my brother, so I don't know.
Oh wow.
It's the same thing.
The
Like dads.
the Blue Water Inn isn't open yet. It's that early, but you do hear a knock. Erwin and Danica aren't even down yet. But
Whose
there's a
door
knock.
is knock? At the end door?
Whose door is knock?
I got Joe Biden brain, man. I have
Whose
Joe
door is
Biden
knock?
brain. Absolutely.
Trillion International Healthcare.
You know the thing. I have Joe Biden brain. It's fine.
So it's like real early? You're talking like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning?
It's dawn. Yeah, it's like 8 a.m. But they don't open the tavern until later.
Can I go answer it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not drunk, so I'm sleeping light. It's a light sleep. So I go answer the door. No clothes on.
Zero.
So you see Lady Wachter's agent Ernst, who you talked to before, and he kind of he for the first time he looks a little bit like doesn't have his composure for a brief second as he sees this naked dwarf in front of him, and then he regains his composure and says, "Gentlemen, lady, we as promised, I've come to hear what your decision is to help my lady."
Oh, it's a little early to be making decisions, lad. And I look out past the door to see if I see the sun.
Yeah, you could tell it's morning now.
Oh, but I guess we said we'd make a decision early, and early it is. So let me go get my friends. Why don't you come in?
He says, "That's okay. I'll wait outside."
Ah, come on, lad, come in.
So he reluctantly steps in and then just kind of stands there, very kind of properly. And
So then I lead him to the room, and he has to look at my big fat dwarf ass. How does that make him feel?
You see him kind of roll his eyes a little bit, and it's got that look of I don't get paid enough for this shit. But he does follow you to the group.
All right, so I go to the room that I wasn't in. I knock, and
well, they're all down. Everybody's down in like the common area
of the inn. Okay, so
of the inn, yeah.
So I walk him in. I guess I'm naked in front of everyone now. Okay, that's fine. It is what
Jennifer covers her eyes.
So yeah, I walk him to the group and I say, Ernest is here, lads. We have to make a decision. I'm gonna go get some pants on.
That sounds like a good decision.
Yeah.
I'm walking through the inn naked. This is great. This is just what a fucking nightmare
Of
this
course
is.
it's great and expected.
It's a very
Well, shit. Out of character. I'm like, man, he came too early.
That's what she did. Sorry.
That is about
I'll never grow up.
that is about as good as that's what she set up as you can get. You know, it really is.
I know.
I'm putting pants on upstairs.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go get
Arnold
11
just look
Z's. I'll be
like-
right back.
sorry, and just real quick, what are we making a decision on here?
Whether or not we're gonna help her kill, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Oh, yeah,
Baron
position.
And
Yeah.
overthrow the Baron for Lady Wachter.
That's it.
Well, I'm interested in seeing SummerSlam 1998 between Alaric and this other dude. So
Lizard Arm.
What did you say, Deckard? You cut out.
oh, I'm ready to see SummerSlam 1999 between Alaric and
He's there.
Yeah, like this is like Goldberg versus, I don't know, like Yokozuna or something, or
Can you
some other.
smell what Alaric is cooking?
I love it. Can you do the eyebrow for us?
No. A little bit.
It's not bad. That's not bad.
That was pretty good. Ragnar looks at Ernest and just I say, I think I'm gonna side with Lady Wachter here because I don't like the look of that Baron and his little minion with the stupid arm. So I don't know enough about Lady Wachter yet, but I know I don't like them.
He says, I think it's a grand decision. I think you will see and hear from the people of the town that Lady Wachter is respected by many, and surely the Baron is not.
So Jennifer goes over. I'm sorry?
No, I was saying let's see what the rest of you have to say.
So Jennifer goes over to Sparkle and she asks, if we help her and we kill the Baron, is there not going to be a festival?
If we help her, will there not be a festival?
Will there not be a festival anymore?
That's true. Maybe
We
not.
all hear that?
I mean, she's not really whispering it. She's just kind of whining.
If
This festival sounds a little scary, though. With the part that you mentioned about the trees, or to kill the children being flowers and stuff, that doesn't sound like a very fun festival.
would you have said that Ernst could hear you?
How far away is he from me?
He's like 10 feet away. He stepped into the.
If he was, I mean, if he was listening, he probably could have.
Well, he's kind of a spy, so I'll assume he heard
Yeah.
him. He says, if you decide to help take out the henchmen, that was what our suggestion was going to be, is the at or after the festival, One thing we've noted in our surveillance of Ezek is that he tends to partake quite heavily in the drink and beverage at these festivals, and maybe you will find an opportunity at some point where he will be a little bit inebriated or distracted or away from some of his soldiers. And we think that would be the best time to take him out. And of course, it's just a suggestion. You all are the experts. We will have some of our people in place that once Ezek's out of the picture, we can take over from there.
So as you were saying, someone who's drinking, Thornton comes down the stairs and he goes, "Oh, did I hear someone who likes to drink? Someone who likes to drink more than me?" Nobody can drink more than a dwarf.
Maybe you can get him a little primed. You know, challenge him to a drink off.
Oh.
I challenge him and I beat him, lad. You cannot drink a dwarf.
Ragnar sees all the hijinks going on, and I look for Spargle because I feel like Spargle has the most tricks up his sleeve. And I make a motion to go off to the side. And I'm going to just say this so only Spargle can hear it. So, Spargle, I don't like that Baron, and I don't like that Ezek. But I also don't like the idea that this guy is going to have a lot of his agents in place. We go murdering that Ezek, and then they could take over the town and point us out as the murderers and throw us in the clink. I don't like this, so I think we need to be prepared for that, because that sounds like where this is going.
I agree.
On the shoulder and walk back away and just say, "Oh yeah, okay, thanks for checking that wart, Spargle. I appreciate it."
Yeah. Hey, Dan, did we notice any? How do I say, like, elements or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, on the agents that we spoke to, like Lady Wachter's people, did they have any like insignias or any kind of identifiers about them?
Make a perception check.
Fucking get him, Will. Get him, Will.
So I'm caught up in my crap. I forgot to sign in here. Come on. Why won't this work? All right. Perception check.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's a 10.
No, you haven't noticed anything like. No, I know what you're saying. Like anything like they're all wearing like a medallion or have something on their clothing or anything like that. You haven't picked up on anything like that.
And then how about maybe it's hard to, I don't know how we would do this in retrospect, but like while we were there, would we have noticed any, I don't know, like weapons on the walls in Lady Wachter's place, or like, you know, was there any kind of common weaponry on these agents? Like, did they have daggers that were similar or anything like that?
None of the, other than this guy here, none of the people that were at the Wachter house or around her looked anything more than commoners, you know? Now this guy is in some leathers. He's got some more sort of black kind of leather on and stuff like that. And he does have a dagger that he has sheathed on his side.
Okay. And this guy that we're talking
it
to,
looks like a well-made one too.
And this guy that we're talking to is with the Wachter house.
Yeah, he's the same guy that snuck up on you in the square when you were releasing
Got it.
Irwin, and then he's the guy that didn't make himself known at the Wachter house, but at the very end there, he came out with the map and everything after she called him, and then she said that he would be by in the morning. He seems to be, as far as you guys can tell, like her right-hand man or her main agent guy who does her stuff.
So did Ragnar just say that in front of this guy that they could turn on us?
Nope, I walked away.
He was quiet.
Oh, got it. Okay. Because I'm. Okay.
That's a really good point.
They could have everybody in place.
Well, you know what? I won't say too much on this because the guys. I don't want to do a bunch of out of character stuff, but.
Yeah, it'll probably be more fun to keep it in character. There is some element of hey, you got to make a decision, and he's standing right there. So,
So, did we communicate already to him? I thought we kind of said we're.
So Ragnar said he was in and would help, and he's just and he made the suggestion of go to the festival, and Ezek will likely be there, and Ezek will likely be drinking there, but that's he's really leaving it up to you guys on what you want to do from here.
I mean, at this point, if Alaric has heard any of this, Alaric's just gonna be like, "I'm in. Let's go fuck him up."
Ernst, are you suggesting that we take out just Ezek, and you're going to be taking care of the rest?
That's correct.
So we're just taking care of Ezek for you to. Wouldn't that kind of? I'd be a little concerned about doing that at a public thing like the festival.
I agree. Some discretion would be ideal. I am not suggesting you do it in front of crowds, of course, but if you spot Ezek at the festival, it's likely the entire town will be there. It's going to be very busy. And I don't know for sure that he'll be there, but traditionally he is there, and he's usually partaking pretty heavily in the revelry.
I think we could look for an opportunity, lads. I think that's all we can promise. Everybody else?
I agree with that.
I say I go toe-to-toe with him with alcoholic beverages and watch him tip over.
We can expand on that later, Thornton. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ernst says, my lady will not be present. It is her policy to not attend the festivals, much to the Baron's chagrin. But I will be there, just not maybe, openly visible, let's say. So if something were to go down, you're welcome to find haven at the Wachter house. Or I will be a few steps away if anything requires my attention. He says, if there's nothing else I can answer or suggest or help, I will return to Lady Fiona and let her know that it seems like we have an arrangement.
All right.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Let's
I agree.
SummerSlam 98.
So he bows and he turns around and leaves. Oh, he
Oh,
mentions. He
that's
says.
fucking
He says. The festival is the early parts of the festival are already sort of set up. The main event will be in a few hours, but if you want to sort of get a lay of the land and see what's going on there, it's there's probably some people there already. Otherwise, I will see you later, and good luck. in your endeavor, and he leaves.
I flip him the bird when he turns around.
Does that mean anything in Barovia?
I don't know.
Ah, for a dwarf, it means goodbye and hello.
Ragnar closes the door after he sees him leave because he's getting antsy. All right, lads. So I think we should go scope out the town and look for ambush points, places we can lead that big fuck, and different ways we can utilize the terrain in this shit town. Because it seems like to advance anything, we're gonna have to get rid of him.
Yeah. Then this guy's gone, right, Dan?
Yep. Yeah, the agent guy, he's gone.
Well, fellas, Ragnar. Did the guy hear what Ragnar said? How are we? What's the?
Wait, hang on.
We're pretty confident that he didn't. Are you talking about when he was talking to
Dan?
Spargo?
Yeah, when he was. If these people are gonna turn.
I was whispering it to Sparkle.
Oh, okay. So, we'll just say I overheard it. Say, Ragnar, I kind of agree. I'm not trust these Walkners because they could use us. So,
Yeah.
we did it.
Yeah, Deckard, we could do all the dirty work and they could point us out in front of the whole town.
I agree.
All locked up. I think we need to split up and
You-
create some sort of scenario where we get Ezek in an uncomfortable situation and possibly make it look like an accident. Maybe Thoradin can challenge him to a drinking contest, and maybe we can utilize some of that poison from the Mardikovs or something like that.
I'm wondering if we can make it look like someone else did it.
How about we make the Wagner look at like the Wagners did it?
That's what I was wondering.
I was wondering when you were asking about the weapons if that's kind of where you were going, but
Yeah. I was thinking clandestine here.
yeah. Ragnar, I totally agree with you. I mean, the fact that they have this many agents, they even know when Ezek is vulnerable. The fact that he drinks as much, and to say that they couldn't have potentially taken him out when he's bombed at some other festival, which seems like they do this every 2 weeks. It seems like the only thing they're missing is potentially a scapegoat, and that may be what we're walking into. That's my only thought. I know I'm a little bit more pessimistic than you guys about this whole thing, so I'll go with you guys, but I think we need to be really cautious about what we're stepping into here. I think the Baron's probably, like you said, Alaric, or the lesser of evils, perhaps, but I don't know.
I agree.
Wachter is probably the lesser.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I think they're a little screwed up, but I think the Baron's got some weird stuff with kidnapping and the festivals and a little bit too much loyalty to Strahd. So, we could get Wachter in place possibly.
Yeah.
And, maybe she'll just be a greedy landlord, but she won't be kidnapping kids.
He's got an Epstein vibe, lads.
And at the end of the day, fellas, I mean, whether we do this or not, I don't think we have much to gain.
I don't think so either. Half of me wonders if we shouldn't do it at all and just I don't know, and not just keep out of this power struggle.
Let's talk about it. Like, what do we get? What fits us if we and do this?
Right. We're putting ourselves in a lot of
risk.
risk.
To see Alaric clap this weird dude.
Just clap him.
Clap. I haven't heard that. That's good.
So far,
I
all
gotta
they've
pee, I'll
been
be right
able to
back.
offer us is a little bit of information about those ruins that we probably need to visit. And that's the reason I came to Barovia in the first place.
To me, that seems like a safer bet than anything.
But
Go
other
see
than
the
that,
ruins. I mean,
go there ourselves.
yeah, but we've gone everywhere ourselves, and I think there's going to be pitfalls in this land, no matter where we go. I don't know. To me,
No,
I don't think.
Go to the ruins ourselves without the Wachters, because who knows if we go there with the Wachters after we kill Izek, maybe they'll spring a trap that we fall in a pit or something.
Right. Absolutely. We're the only people that know that they're behind the deception, right?
We need an escape plan, just
Right.
in case.
Well, that's what if we do go after Izek, we have to have some sort of escape plan and spells at the ready and whatever else you guys have up your sleeves. Utilize that wagon, maybe.
Well,
The funny thing is, lads, I do think that Ezek is a bad character either way. So if we were to take him out, we'd be doing a service just for the sake of doing it.
Oh yeah, that dude's got to fucking go. I mean,
You're not wrong. You're not
He's
wrong.
got to go.
I'm sure he's.
I would prefer to do this on the stealthy side, and I don't want to be around. We got to have an escape, because if this goes south on us, and the walk on us, we got to be ready.
All right, I'm going to ask one more thing, and you can tell me if I'm nuts, but we haven't seen any kind of sign of Strahd here, right? We've seen him when we've been walking in different paths, on different places. We haven't seen any sign of Strahd here. And even though the Baron is obviously a nutcase, and this Izek does seem evil too, the one thing is his big thing is everything is like to repel Strahd. Do this because we think it's keeping Strahd out. Do this, whatever.
Maintaining status quo, right?
Right, but he is at least openly trying to keep Strahd out. This Wagner lady is basically, I really think she's very much in line with Strahd. I think she embraces Strahd. I think he has enabled certain things for her because of her alignment to him. Again, like I said, I think the food, the wine, all the things are just a demonstration of that he favors her house and allows her to prosper, but I don't know. To me, it feels like we're making it easier for him to be somewhere he's not normally. But I get it. I know. I hate that as that guy too, and I know you guys really want to fight. So,
sound logical argument with evidence, but I know you guys want to fight. So,
you guys want to fight.
So should we go take a look at the festival grounds and see the situation?
We could plan for any scenario, I suppose. Just that wouldn't hurt.
Let's just burn the fucking thing down.
Do you think we should bring Irwin's Raven sentries in to mark Ezek's location throughout the festival and keep us aware of his whereabouts?
Can we do that?
I think we took him out of the gallows, Thord, and we can pretty much ask him for anything.
How about a fucking drink to start it?
Juniper, do you think what are your thoughts about your runes and the message?
Juniper, the little one.
Well, I mean, she's pretty anxious about the idea of there not being a festival. And it's not because, she wants to wear flowers in her hair and go to a festival, but it's the fact that if there's no festival, then how does this town stop their kids from being taken away? Is
there a way you think, Juniper, that we could disrupt the festival from happening?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily the festival that... Is it necessarily the festival that's causing the kids to be taken away? Or is it kind of like there's some sort of outside force and the kids that are at the festival are protected from it?
And I'm sorry, and I was having my crap. Can you just kind of summarize real quick something the kids get taken?
I posted in Roll20 the poem that she got.
Okay.
When she was doing her
I'll
divination.
take a look at it. Yeah, that's all I need. Yep, I'll take a look.
I mean, she's along for the ride as far as, watching people drink and fight, but she doesn't want to see anybody lose their kids.
Right.
So we can't disrupt the festival, lads. It has to go on. Something about it keeps this stupid Dark Lord away.
And real quick, who gave you that poem?
Juniper did a divination. outside last night. Yeah.
Flowers are safe to not be plucked by raven, bat, or dog. Have,
The festival seems to make the area a sanctuary, so there's no PvP allowed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like I was interpreting that correctly or not, but
Because the ravens are our friends.
yeah. So
The wolves-
Raven is the Ragnar. You're saying like Raven's the keepers of the feather, right?
Yep.
The bat is Strahd. The dog is the Baron, or is
Probably.
that old?
That makes a lot of sense.
I think
whenever
basically
there's-
what it means is tonight's the purge, and if you're not in Blocky, you're fair game.
kids have to go and show up and wear the lei and sing the songs. They have to hold up their Bucephalus toys.
This is fucking weird.
It is. I'd
All
love
right,
to see.
Because everything thus far has been normal and awesome.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like this is the culmination of the weird, though. Like, this is where it all comes to a head.
Well, we're seeing the source now.
Is there a I wish I could say a way for us to set a trap for the dogs that dig up the weeds, Like, is there a way to lure them in to find out who's really behind that?
Well, is dogs a metaphor?
Well, if it is, then that's that sounds like that's the Baron, right? Or
I think the dogs are the
I don't know.
Baron.
I think the dogs are the Baron and his lackeys.
The bat is Strahd. You're right. And then the tiger is the entertaining man who we have to find.
What would happen if Ezek didn't show up to the festival?
He's showing. I wouldn't worry.
I meant, what if we could prevent that? He gets killed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of nip it in the bud earlier.
Well, I mean, we can try and kill this guy at the festival, or do it in a way that won't end the festival.
That's gonna be tough. I mean,
So, so like the whole city's celebrating the festival, but there's like, is the main city center? Is that where like most people congregate? Like, could we go there early, and that's where most people will be showing up?
That's what Ernst kind of suggested now, is that people are starting to congregate there,
So maybe.
but the festival won't like start for a couple more hours.
So maybe what we should do is we should go there early, and we can just kind of hang out, mingle, try to fit in and be normal people here, and see who shows up. And maybe there's a chance that Ezek's there early, and we could try to, I don't know, corner him or get him by himself or something like that. But I think getting there early is a good idea. We can just observe.
Scope it out.
Yeah,
I think we go there now and get a lay of the land.
I'm full support.
So is that what you guys want to do?
Yeah, Ragnar.
yeah,
opens
that's
the door.
yeah.
He's
I think
okay.
that's the best way to go.
Okay, and so Irina is there with you guys, as I always forget, and she says, am I coming along as well?
She stays with us, lads. I think there's no other
At
choice.
this point, yeah, I don't.
got
I
balls
wouldn't trust
of
her with anybody else.
She says, okay, yeah, festival sounds fun. I hope I don't want to get in any fights myself, but you guys are always, taking care of me, so that's cool.
I like how
Irina,
she's.
can you
I like how
bring
she's
her?
becoming just the dog of the group. We're just like, all right, go lay here, go do this.
Should we
Feel bad.
should we split up at all? Like, and I don't, splitting up doesn't usually do very well for us. But I would say that I wonder if we should be doing anything like scouting other parties other than just the festival grounds? Like the Baron, should we be somebody scouting Izek? Should somebody be scouting?
Mm-hmm.
I
can't
think
hear
we
anybody.
split up into
Hold on.
3 groups.
Why? Fucking kidding me? Hello? Hello? Oh my fucking god, I swear.
Transform into other things
Alright.
too.
Sorry guys. I missed everything that was said in the last 2 minutes.
You didn't miss anything yet.
My AirPods must have died. I have no
Not a real
idea how.
good ad for or promotion for
AirPods tonight.
AirPods tonight.
No, it's
No.
Okay, so tell me what you guys are doing now. Who's going to
All
do
right.
the festival early to kind of see what's up?
Let's have a meeting place, and then let's do some scouting. You know, Deckard, Juniper, and I could be like we could all do some scouting. I mean, that's at least 3 different people that we could scout. You guys could be some muscle. You know what I mean? Investigate the spot where you're going to try to figure out like how to take Izek down, whether however that may look. And in the meantime, I don't know.
I think.
So I'm sorry. Are you guys
three
all?
go ahead? You 3 go ahead, Spargle, and deploy your magical skills and Deckard stealth as best as you can and as you see fit. And then
All right.
me and my dwarf friend and Alaric will come out in a few minutes and let ourselves be visible so you guys can scout. I
Okay.
think that's the move.
So, so Deckard, Spargle, and Juniper are gonna go to the fest. They're gonna go in first. You guys aren't going all in as one big group. Is that what you're saying?
No, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the map stuff right here. Okay. And Irina.
Irene is going to stay with us, I think.
Okay. So you guys.
Thorin, Alaric, Ragnar, and Irina.
Okay. You guys aren't even going into the square.
We're going to
Yeah.
wait like 2 minutes, let them go out and disperse, and get into position how they want. If they want to move to different areas of the town, I think that's a good move.
Okay. And you guys know that the festival itself is happening in the square. So so Deckard, Spargle, Juniper, you guys are walking right into the square at this point.
I wasn't planning on going right into the square. I was like, just go out of the inn and then we can kind of disperse
Yep.
different directions
Exactly. Yep.
and
So,
not go to the square. They're going to go to the square.
Maybe Deckard goes to a rooftop somewhere. Maybe Spargle goes to an alley and turns himself into a birthday cake. Like whatever.
I want to go scout
We need eyes everywhere.
the what's his name?
And actually, before you
There.
leave,
Mm-hmm.
before you guys leave, I'm gonna go get Erwin. Let's see if we can utilize his ravens to communicate between both parties.
Oh, good call.
So I bang on the table and I say, Erwin, wake up.
Erwin comes running out. Yes. What's going on? Why we're not open for another hour? What's
Oh,
happening?
it's fine, Erwin. Get Doran a drink before he has a panic attack. And just do me a favor. If you can deploy your ravens to help us, we're going to split our party up. if you could utilize your ravens to help us communicate if we get into a pinch with the Baron's men.
Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of the Baron anymore after him locking me up. Yeah, absolutely. You want some positioned around the festival?
Yes, in strategic locations, we're going to split our friends up here. And in case one of us gets in trouble, if we could signal a raven to get a message to the other party, that would be useful to us.
Okay. I will send. Within the hour. Some of them are still sleeping up in the lofts, but within an hour, I'll have 3 ravens positioned around the town square. They'll know that if you need anything, they will either come back to me and report back, or find your friends.
Excellent, Erwin. We owe you with that.
Erwin is, and he's pouring a wine, grape mash number 3, into a breakfast, into an orange juice glass for Thoradin.
So I look at Erwin and I just go.
He gives you the Shooter McGavin.
I give him a wink. Okay, all right.
Hey, can I get one
guys,
happy?
I think everything is in place. Let's do this. I think we've covered all eventualities.
Okay.
I just look at real quick at Deckard and Juniper too, and I go, all right, who takes who?
I'll take the Baron, unless you guys think I should go somewhere else. Or should I kind of perch up top and just keep an eye on things?
I mean, you're probably the stealthiest of all of us. I can do things that can, like I mentioned, I can transform into an animal. I can also go invisible, but only for about an hour. So I can't do it all day. You're probably the best at staying quiet for long periods of time.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Well, Lark's stealthy. If you need him to do something.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Or are you being... I didn't know.
No, he doesn't
You're
wear any
big and
armor, man.
imposing.
He's agile. He's good. He could be stealthy. Honestly, I don't know what his stealth is, but he's gonna be better than most others.
You probably have a pretty high dex.
Yeah, no, I could help out.
I'm not particularly stealthy. I just have a couple little magic helping tricks.
Juniper looks at them and says, I'm very, very sneaky.
Well, that's
so
good.
it's getting to be later in the morning now, and you're starting to hear a little bit more outside, people moving and moving towards the center of town, towards the festival.
All right.
Well, Deckard says, all right, I'm going to go, if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to head over and find the Baron here.
Sounds good, Deckard.
Where are you going to find him?
Well, I'm going to try and scout for him. Like, I guess I'm going to head for his manor and just try and find him.
Okay. All right. And then Spargle, what's your game plan?
I'm supposed to have a game plan, huh?
Or who are you scouting, or
maybe the barracks. The barracks where the soldiers were.
What you mean by the Baron?
Well, there was that where the gallows was, where Erwin was. They came out of a building near the gallows.
Was that near the square?
It's on the square. Yep.
It is on a square. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go towards the square too, but I'm just gonna be separate, if that makes sense.
Go
and then
back, maybe.
Yeah, I'll cut around the back, check out the gallows and stuff, and.
Got it. Okay. All right. And then Juniper?
Juniper is kind of waiting for her assignment. She's, hearing everybody talking about what they plan on doing, and, she's not quite sure, where she should go or what she should be doing. But she's happy to help.
I didn't mean to volunteer you either, Juniper, for something if you just wanted to go with them and,
Oh, she's enthusiastic about helping.
Okay. Maybe the three of us should, since we don't really know, maybe the three of us should go together, Deckard, until things get a little close, and then we can kind of decide if there's more logical places to peel off. So let's say, for example, if somebody sees Izek, one of us can peel off and follow Izek. If one of us see the Baron and kind of tail the Baron. If one of us see,
I like that idea.
I even think about Ernst. I would be interested in following Ernst too.
Absolutely.
Let's go grab a little bit of this wine that we worked so hard to get and roam around this joint.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, but you're going in kind of separately. I mean, you guys have been to the square so many times now. You know there's multiple roads there. Do you want to, the three of you are going in as a group, or you're going to kind of like come in at three different side streets, I guess?
We can go together.
Yeah, put that together.
Okay. And then what are the rest? And the rest of you are waiting at this point. Is that true?
The three of us are what?
Is that what I'm doing?
I don't know. No, well, you do whatever you want.
I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, so for me, Alaric would like to. So everybody's going to kind of the town center, the town square. Alaric wants to do the same. But he's just gonna kind of go and almost like he's patrolling the square. Just wants to walk around, and the whole time that he's doing it, he's just going to have one hand kind of touching a spear on his back, and the other hand touching a necklace.
But not with the other three. You're kind of by yourself, just kind of wandering around the square. Okay. Yep. And then Thoradin and Ragnar, what are you doing while these guys are... So it sounds like Juniper, Deckard, and Spargle are kind of going to the square to case it out a little bit.
That's the recon group. Yep, that's
right.
The
and
recon
group.
If
you guys see anybody, then you may do some recon. You may do some, tail them a little bit or whatever. Erwin has already sent some ravens ahead. Alaric's going to go separately from the group and just wander by himself. So Ragnar, Thoradin, and Irina, what are they doing while that's all going on?
Just going to walk to the square, right?
Yeah, we're going to walk to the square just like a few minutes behind, so it doesn't look like, we're coming in together.
Yeah, we're going to be... We're going to...
Suspicious
like
group coming in. Gotcha. All right, everybody good with that game plan?
Yep.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, then I will take you to the square.
I'm ready for this festival.
If I did this right. Hopefully I didn't fuck it up too much.
Oh, happy me play. Yeah, this is great. This is George Michael.
George Michael.
I'm digging this, man.
Okay.
I think this is Africa.
Oh, nice. Look, you got this set up pretty sweet. Yeah.
So, Juniper, Spargle, Deckard, you guys get there first. So you get to this square, and you see there's quite a few people already. There's still some people that look like, it's like an hour before the festival now, and so some people look like they're still like setting up. You see about half the crowd. There's a lot of people walking around. You see about half the crowd kind of seems into it, right? They seem like they're having, they're enjoying the festival the best, as they can. The other half of the crowd just seems to be going through motions, so to speak. Like they're there. They look kind of just plain faced, no emotion really, just kind of going through the motions. You three, right in front of you. So a couple things you see interesting. So you guys have been to this square several times. This is a different map, so I'll just remind things. This is the gallows, or where the gallows are. But there aren't obviously people in the gallows right now. There's actually two people up there kind of setting up some instruments of some sort. Look like they're going to be playing music at the festival.
Ooh.
Is Roland up there?
That's where he went. Yep. So you see some carts over here that look like they are set up with to serve wine and some food. Some of the food's still being cooked. There's definitely some casks of wine and cups, ceramic cups to pass out wine. This over here is the sort of guardhouse area that Ezek had come in and out of a couple times before, and his guards when you were here before. These other buildings are just sort of business, commerce kind of stuff. You notice that there's a cart.
Is that a
over
raven?
here. That is a
Oh,
raven.
badass.
There's
Yeah.
three ravens.
Look at you on the move, setting all this shit up as we're yapping about all our crazy shit plans.
So you do, Deckard, if you look around, and I won't make you make a roll for this, it's kind of obvious, you do see a couple of ravens just hopping around the top of some of the buildings. You notice maybe the most active thing and then there's down here, I'll tell you that, Alaric, in a minute. So right here, that you notice there's a line of people up to a cart where they are selling some more food. And that's what you guys see walking into this side of the square. Alaric, you kind of peeled off before everybody else, before the group came in, and you went down one of the other alleys to get there. So the first thing you see when you're walking in, and you've got your spear close, and you got your necklace, you're holding on to it. People are looking at you, because you're a big dude, but they don't really look at you like, they look at you, they're like, wow, and then they look away. They're minding their business.
Is it because he looks like this? Maybe that's why.
I heard that.
Look, the way I see it in my head, he's not like fondling the spear and fondling the necklace. The whole idea is he's just walking into the city square. But then, he touches his necklace, he's aware of it, and then he goes back to being a normal guy, and then he'll, check for his spear, because he's a little uneasy. It's not jacking the spear off. Matt?
That's how I saw it, but okay.
Fucking Matt. No, he's fucking Matt.
Fucking Matt.
Alaric, what you walk into is there's a cart over here, and there's two people. They basically have a whole cart full of those little wicker suns that Blinsky was making, and they're just they're handing them out to people as they walk by, and some people are carrying those around with them like souvenirs, so to speak.
Juniper goes over to that one.
Okay. So and you guys can move yourself around. I can hear you. Start telling me what's going on. I gotta go check on the kid real quick.
So they're just randomly cursing people. They're like, here, take this little wood figurine I made. You guys are fucked. Enjoy it.
Gordon's vibing out. He hears the music and he's
just killing it, dude.
Where are you at, Thoradin?
We're not there yet.
Oh, you're not there. Okay.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, that's all right.
We're still close to the end.
Oh,
yes.
You got to hear that music, though,
Hear the
dude.
music.
It's a banger. It's a banger.
I faintly hear it, and I'm fucking getting into it. Oh, lad, what is that? Is that George Michael? Is that Toto? What is
that? Toto?
Toto.
Funny. I think I hear the rains down in Africa. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I elbow Thoradin in the ribs. Look alive, you fool. We're here to do a job.
Look alive.
What's about you damn heel.
That's the moral of the story right there. Look alive, you fool.
It is pretty good to be Thoradin.
Actually, now that you mention it, you guys, Ragnar and Thoradin and Irina, when you walked out of the inn, you did notice that, they had kind of nice landscaping. One of the trees is just rotted and decayed all of a sudden overnight into just a pile of black rot, and it has some acorns scattered across the top of it that have also turned black.
What did you do, Juniper?
All right, so back at the square, what do you guys want to do?
I just want to dance.
Is there anybody like? Is there anybody that stands out, Dan? Like you mentioned, there's some people that are like look bored going through the motions. Some people that are into it. Are there any people that like look like they could be of importance, or like like? I know this sounds stupid, but there's this one lady here who looks like different than everybody else. Is that just because there's an extra tile, or is it somebody of importance, or?
So she's that woman is kind of operating this cart.
Yeah.
She's an older woman.
Okay.
That cart has a very long line of people. They're buying some kind of food from her. And you notice if you're looking, you notice that people are paying her a gold piece for these little pies that she's handing out, that's not cheap. You also notice the two people that were setting up music. You do notice a couple of guards, just like two.
Okay, so those are guards. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
So there's
a lot of these. Don't pay too much attention to the tiles. Just out of character. A lot of these are just I only have a couple tiles to use, so most of these just represent people. I tried to also.
Gotcha.
These are like crowds. The general don't pay too much attention to the map. It gets increasingly filled up with just people coming in. But yeah, there is someone running a cart here selling some pastries. Couple people over here by Alaric handing out little wicker suns. There's a couple people over here pouring some wine. That's the general kind of scene.
But we don't see like an Izak, or we don't see the Baron. We don't see the Wagner kids.
Make a perception check if you're really scanning the crowd.
Perception +1. Okay. I'm going to switch to physical in a minute because I forgot them, but I'll do it for now.
You don't notice anybody that seems like anyone you're specifically looking for. You also do notice, because you were expecting them, that there are a couple ravens perched atop a couple of the buildings.
Okay. Yeah, the ones I was mainly thinking of are the ones I actually mentioned aloud. Wagner's, the kids. I know the lady doesn't, but the kids or the Baron or Izak are the ones I'm really mainly looking for.
Yeah, you didn't notice them. That's not to say they aren't here, because this is like you sort of just walked into like Jacob's Field or Progressive Field, and there's just a crowd, and you're trying to scan, and you haven't found anybody yet.
Okay.
Where were they? What were they serving at this table again?
Pies, meat pies, and pastries, and I think they're suspicious, and I think we should go check them out.
They smell good.
Alcohol?
Over here.
Got it. Yeah, so Deckard.
Yeah, you can move yourselves all over here. This is about, this is a square, like a square in a city, so it's not super huge.
Now, how crowded is it? Is this crowded enough to where, like, if I did something, I could, like, Jason Bourne it and, like, blend into the crowd?
Yeah.
Good try, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. You just said it was getting increasingly, more people, more populated. Are we to the point that we're like shoulder to shoulder, or is it like walking through New York City and like in the middle of the afternoon? Like there's just a lot of people.
Pre-corona or with corona?
That's irrelevant. Pre.
It's about halfway there. You know what I mean? It's like you got to the ball game about a half hour before the game started, so you got that crowd. It's not like full blown everybody's coming in to get to their seats yet, but you're getting there. There's more and more people. It increasingly is picking up as more people are making their way into the square.
Alaric's just gonna keep making his way. Like I said before, he's just gonna keep like making rounds. I don't know how all the timing's going to work, but he's basically just looking for Izak. Not that he's going to go slit his throat, but he's just looking for him.
Yep. Make a perception check. You do walk by the meat pie cart, and they do smell good. And you see just that line keeps growing. That seems to be like the popular thing for people is this meat pie.
So
If you're walking past, I do ask Alaric. I try to not to be stupid and obvious about it, but I kind of walk forward and I'm like, "Do you want a meat pie?"
Oh, what's the back of the line?
I'm gonna give him
Is
a
it
nod.
like-
The back of the line, I mean, it's, they're dishing them out fairly quickly.
22
So-
perception.
Juniper, I'm following you.
Deckard's in line to get a flagon of mead. Or wine, rather.
Okay.
Wherever that line starts. Is it back here?
Yeah, it's over there. They're going pretty quickly there with the wine. There's not too many people grabbing wine yet, so within a couple minutes, you get some wine. Alaric, you really are kind of, even though you're moving around a lot, you really are paying attention, and you notice, you see right next to Deckard, although Deckard doesn't seem to notice it. You notice that Vasily's over there, also by the wine cart. He kind of blends in because he's a little more like, he dresses nice, but he's dressed like the rest of the other people, and you see him over there. Deckard, you in character haven't really spotted him yet, even though you're kind of right next to him. You're
Okay, so like I'm in line. Like, do I notice him or?
No, you didn't yet.
Okay.
You weren't really looking, or didn't tell me that you were, but
I'm just, for all my talk about scouting and stuff like that, I really have no experience as a scout, so I'm just, the most logical thing to me sounded like the meat pie, so when Juniper mentioned that, I'm in line with her.
So do I have my wine now?
yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna stake out, I'm just surveying the land. Just looking for anything that looks out of place. Just checking it out.
Are you really looking for anything odd? Is that kind of like you're like, all right?
I'm watching people.
I'm gonna just grab food while.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
okay.
We're probably gonna have you guys join whenever or whatever you tell me you're doing. So Deckard, make an investigation check if you're really looking for not just kind of scanning for some people, but looking for anything out of place.
Ugh.
Yeah, you don't. Again, you notice the ravens continue to hop back and forth. You notice the ravens are almost tracking you guys, meaning they're kind of like circling around and hopping from building to building to make sure they have a line of sight on where you're at. But that's all you notice.
Oh, I have advantage. Why does it say I have advantage on investigation checks?
You might.
Oh, you know what? I have I think it's for specific.
To recall information about Fey, Fiends, and Undead. So that would
Yeah. Well, hang on. Yeah.
Can't you hear the chair? She's crying.
I've got an A next to it on my. But I think it has to do when I'm investigating dark things.
Yeah, Fey, Fiends, and Undead. If you click on investigation, it says next to the advantage of when you get advantage.
Ah, nice. Okay, cool.
So Ragnar, Thornton, Irina, you guys just let me know when you think you'll have entered the square, or if you want to go somewhere else besides the square.
Is Matt talking in character as a dwarf to himself in another area of his house? Am I nuts, or did I hear him going off?
Wouldn't be the first time. We do that on Thanksgiving.
Have we got in front of the line as far as the meat pies go? Have we gotten there?
Yeah. So if no one else is doing anything right now, yeah, you get up to the front of the line and there's this nice old lady But she does say a gold piece for this meat pie that's about that. It's not that big. It's about the size of like $2 silver. But they smell great. So if you want one, you take a gold piece.
I'll buy 3, Juniper, and I'll pay for it because I can get one for Alark said he wanted a meat pie.
Well, why don't I get 7 of them because there are 6 of us, and I would like one for later.
All right, dig it.
Do you have a bulk discount, ma'am?
She says, "No, I'm sorry. The price is very firm. Demand for these is high, and we only have a limited supply."
Do you have any bags that we can put them in?
She says, "I can hand," and she pulls out a wooden, a small wooden pallet kind of thing, and she goes, "Oh, if you're buying 7, I'll put them on here for you. But be careful with the dream pastries. They really have a kick."
I'm sorry, what now?
Your old woman voice is amazing.
That's the best thing I've heard in a week.
And so she says, "Be careful with the dream pastries," and she hands you 7 of them on a little rack, and they do smell like a pot pie kind of thing, but there's a nutmeg kind of cinnamony, some kind of sweetness to it. But she says they have a kick, and she hands you this tray of 7.
Okay. So is there a place around there to clearly sit down to eat?
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of people that are sitting on these benches in front of where the music is playing. And then there's other areas where you can just sort of plop down.
Dan, can you bring me in?
Yeah.
So Jennifer gestures over to the music, and she goes, "Let's go investigate over there and eat some pies."
All right. So who's going over and having pies?
If I see that they've got pies, I'll head over and have a pie.
All right. So
did I hear Sparkle say that he grabbed me a pie?
There's a pie for everyone.
Juniper got 7 pies.
I mean, if I noticed it, I would swing by and get a free pie.
All right. So yeah, you guys all kind of congregate over by the music, hang out on a bench. Thornton, Ragnar, and Irina enter the square right behind you. I don't know if you guys are gonna walk up to the rest of the group who's munching on these pies, or if you're gonna stay kind of back.
Ragnar's gonna kind of surreptitiously go over here. That's the guardhouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from what I'm looking at, is this a window?
Yep.
Okay. So Ragnar
Oh,
kind of go right here. And, he's always scowling and just looks agitated. And he's going to try to get an idea what's going on inside that building and see if he hears anything. Going to try to eavesdrop a little. See if I hear anything, what's going on in there.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Oh, we rolled in?
Yeah, you and Irina are over there. Ragnar kind of weaved his way through the crowd.
Ugh.
Yeah, you look in the window.
It's +5.
So you definitely see a lot of the Baron's guards. You see a number of guards but you can't see past them. There's a lot of activity going on in that building, and it to your best guess, it's they're kind of getting ready to kick off the ceremonies.
And I got a sense of a good amount of guards in there?
Yeah.
What I was able to say? Okay.
Yeah, that's what you got.
So I'm going to kind of go over here and nod my head in thanks for the meat pie. And then under my breath, tell the group that's with me, there's a lot of guards in there. It's gonna take a lot to overwhelm that many guards.
Thornton, what's your game plan?
Well, I don't want to leave Irina alone. That just seems like a bad idea. So we will kind of move up together. So I say to Irina, let's move up and see if we can get some grub. This dwarf's very hungry. Maybe I could find you some food.
So you see the same thing. You see the rest of your friends have congregated over by the stage where the gallows are, or where the what are those things called? Where the music is, where
Instruments, yeah.
the stocks, where they had them in the stock. It's not stocks today; it's a music stage. Juniper, Spargle, Ragnar, Alaric, all have these. Are grabbing these meat pies off of a tray. Decker, did you go up there too? Okay, you went up there. Thornton.
Yes, I went up there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought you said you did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yep. So Irina kind of comes up too. And so, are you guys all gonna eat a meat pie?
I would.
Yeah, and
I would
Juniper miscounted and forgot about Irina, so she hands her a meat pie too.
Well, you said 7, right? You bought.
Yeah,
7?
that was gonna be an extra one for Juniper, but she gives her Irina the meat pie, and
That's nice.
Okay.
Only one for me.
All right.
I could-
I need
It's fine.
everybody to make a Constitution.
We're
save.
I knew it.
friggin'
You are all welcome.
Constitution saving throw. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, it's a different kind of pot pie.
I have stone form though. Don't forget. Oh fuck my ass! Ooh.
Wrong game.
You said Constitution, right?
Streets closed, pizza boy.
Find another way home.
I got a 4.
14.
But I have poison resistance and I'm immune to disease. I would just like to add that.
You're immune to disease?
Hell yeah, divine health.
That's cool.
22 for Deckard.
20. Yeah, 22 for me as well.
Yeah, Thorin rolled a 7. I'll stay.
Just need Adam's roll.
Whoa! I was the first one to roll, brother. 17.
Oh, sorry.
17.
Sorry, okay.
17.
All right. Can Thornton, Juniper, and Spargle join me real quick in the D&D waiting channel?
Yeah, I'll move us there. I'll move us there. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Brutal.
She's there. Dan, you're there now.
They're all still in the poison room.
Sucks to be them.
Oh yeah.
So we think. Who knows?
Keep
Maybe
it
the
very
poison's
fun.
good.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm going to eat more cashews then. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Does anyone hear aliens talking, or is that just me?
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
Oh shit! I just heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear aliens. All right, take me, fucking take me, please. Let me out. This fucking world is a prison. Let me out. I don't want to do it anymore. Take the fat one. We can do many experiments on him. He has lots. Amber just sent me a gif of a cow getting sucked up to a UFO.
I'm here. When everybody's back, let me know. I'm gonna keep eating food.
Take the fat one. We can run many experiments on him. He has lots of surface area. Lots of flesh, lots of matter. We can run many experiments. But he appears to have... he's balding. He may not be youthful. That's okay. We can still run more experiments.
So, Ragnar, are you there? Sal?
He's probably...
Oh, he's the alien.
I think he got sucked. Yeah, I think...
No. I could see his mic thing turning green, but we don't hear him.
Yeah, he's sus. He's very sus. I think it's
Very
him.
sus. I'm gonna go bio while I wait for sus.
The alien's got...
disconnect and reconnect.
I'm gonna server mute him.
Well, I just want to make sure he's back before we start
I'm
talking
back.
more.
What's up?
Oh,
How you doing?
Before we start making fun of him.
all right. So, you guys all eat these pies, and they taste great. They really are. They're like so Deckard, you're not grossed out by them at all, so you know there's absolutely no wolf meat in them.
Nice.
They're probably maybe like some deer venison kind of mixture with some
Opioid.
good spices and stuff like that.
When I eat so good, you actually see me wolf out momentarily, like the computer warehouse Wolfman.
Terry Hot.
Terry Clout.
Terry Clout.
So you guys, you know, these two Barovians are on stage and they're jamming some like kind of crazy music. And you guys eat these meat pies, and all of you feel kind of chill for a second, you know, like really good. But suddenly, Thornton and Juniper and Sparkle, their eyes just kind of, they just space out. They just look up at the sky, and you can tell they're not focused on anything anymore. And they kind of drop to they kind of just ease themselves to the ground and are just catatonic.
Just like in the middle of the crowd, they just collapse.
Yeah, I mean, they like let themselves down easy. It's not like they fall, just like they
I'm in the bush over here. I'm in the bush.
Tranquilizer dart. But they
Right
kind of
there.
like, you know, like you're too drunk at a festival and you like look for that spot to just like kind of go lay yourself down. But once they do, they're zoned out. They're not there anymore.
Is there anyone else in the crowd like this?
Yeah. Now that you're looking around, you see that a bunch of people are kind of sitting at benches and bushes and doing the same thing.
I didn't know we were going to Woodstock.
So Ragnar walks over to Thoradin's limp form and just kind of lightly taps him with my boot in the ribs.
How lightly?
Not enough to bruise, but enough to be really annoying if you were aware of it.
All right. You kind of nudge him in the side with your boot, and he kind of you see him snap out of it, and his eyes kind of refocus. He looks up at him. Hold on 1 second. Thoradin, I should have mentioned this. I will
You can text me if you need to.
I'll message you on Slack.
Okay.
And so Thoradin kind of snaps out
Discord or
of it.
Slack?
Oh, Discord. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, Ragnar, why'd you do that? Just trying to relax.
You're laying here like a lump of shit on a log in the middle of a festival. We got work to do. This isn't no time to be ballyhooing around.
Oh, I don't appreciate you. And I give him a smack.
And Ragnar just shakes it off, and then I walk over to Juniper, and I'm not gonna kick her, but I take my big fat dwarf finger, and I kind of just poke her in the side, and I'm like, "Little goat lady, wake up! There's no time to be sleeping."
Goat lady.
Goat lady.
Same thing. You kind of you do snap her out of it.
And I
God.
I look at Deckard and I say, "Get to the gnome."
Deckard goes over and kind of, Sparkle's. So Deckard does he rolls him over with his boot, just kind of does makes him do a little barrel roll across the ground.
And he rolls over a couple times, catches some dirt and dust on him, and then same thing that you see him as he rolls twice. His eyes, the first time he spins over, his eyes are still glazed out, but by the time his face comes back around on the last roll, you can tell he's snapped out of it, and he looks up at you.
No, Deckard, no.
Jennifer's
Deckard.
mustache is quivering with irritation, and she said, "Why did you do that?"
I'm sorry, Juniper. We got work to do, and this is a dangerous place.
Why are you just laying on the ground, man? What the hell's going on?
I'm looking at this bush.
What?
I'm looking at
The thing is, wait, time out, out of character. I've been to fish shows with Punch. This is not the first time I've heard him say that.
I'm looking at this bush. That's great.
Why are you acting like a homeless person, man? What the hell's going on?
What? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Go check out this bush.
Check out the bush?
Yeah, look at that bush.
Deckard looks at the bush.
It's a nice bush.
Looks like a gray, ugly Barovian bush to you.
I hand him some. I give him my wine. I say, "Hey, man, take a sip of this. Gotta wake you up."
You are thirsty. The wine probably would go up.
Okay. I take a sip of that wine.
Ragnar walks over to Thoradin again. I just grab him on the shoulder and I'm like, lad, you've been drugged. Your weak stomach has allowed you to eat that stupid pie, and you've been drugged. You've been in dreamland. You gotta wake up and focus.
I don't want to wake up and focus.
I want more meat pies.
So as you guys are kind of arguing and talking about the meat pies and kicking everybody up, you start to you see everybody, you feel that like sort of crowd has started to like draw their attention towards the east side of the square as you hear this like trumpeting noise. And you realize it's getting close to noon. And the doors nearby where you were looking at, Ragnar, you hear them like kind of kick open, and a lot of activity kind of happening over on that side of town as the crowd all starts to draw closer to the center of the square. So if you bear with me, I'll explain this, what's happening. Suddenly, the festival kicks off as a parade of unhappy-looking children marching through the dusty streets, dressed comically as sunflowers, their faces painted in a bright yellow. They're followed by a disorganized group of commoners beating on drums, not quite rhythmically, also wearing masks. In turn, these are followed by a woman on a white horse. She's covered in a kind of middle-aged woman. She's covered in strands of yellow strings and garland. She's waving to the crowd with like a fake smile, and the crowd waves back. Behind them, a group of sorry-looking men dragging and pushing a cart with a massive sphere of laced wood and vines and wicker and rope. The smells of pitch and oil precede it, wafting across the open square. Then, charging a horse around the procession, nearly crushing a couple of the flower children, is the burgomaster himself, riding into the center of the square. His face is also painted yellow, and he's also wearing a mask like like some of the commoners are wearing. And he holds over this big, gruesome torch, and in his other hand, a finely made rapier. Trotting the horse in a tight circle. Let me uncover stuff. Well, hold on. So, in an uncomfortably high-pitched voice, he addresses the crowd and he says, "In my safe mountain town of Vallaki, we reject the Dark Prince. By the light of the blazing sun, all will be well." And let me show you. And then guards and others kind of come out as so basically people are streaming out of that building, Ragnar, that you were looking at, and then you kind of saw all that go down. So this sun object here, that's they hoisted up this huge wicker ball above a pit. Guards have come out of that building. You guys do notice now Ezek is kind of out of the building as well. Everyone was in the building essentially. The woman who was on the horse parked her horse over here and made her way to this stage. You also see a couple of the dogs that you saw back at the Baron's mansion have come out and are just sort of laying on the stage as the Baron himself is walking towards this big wicker ball.
Is this music from this, or is this something you found that applied?
Dude, I look so far from this shit. This is some kind of weird Romanian, it's called like Booga Beluga music or some shit. This guy plays.
So awesome. Like you could have lied to me and been like, "Yeah, this was just right from D&D."
Yeah, this is straight from Curse of Strahd.
Yep, I believe it. Wouldn't even question it. It's perfect. It's just awesome, but chaotic and evil. It's
The
great.
fact that it's from Romania is interesting. Is that a giant cat?
That's Rictavio.
No, I did. No. I did some stuff by accident. Hold on. Those are on here. That's just. Like all these labels and stuff aren't supposed to be on here. Rictavio is not here. There's no tiger here. That's. These are notes for me and tokens that I can use later. Sorry. But you should see. Yeah, this is what you should see now. You see the horses parked over here. You see all these people on the stage, and they've hoisted up this wicker wall.
Okay. So, are our friends still wigging out, or are we over our...
It seems like everybody got some sun stuck into them, I think, right?
Yep.
I think we're all good.
Okay, and so they show up, and now they're like up on a stage, Dan?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And are you guys just gonna kind of sit in the crowd and see what happens, or is there anything you want to do or ask about? Because the proceeding or the festival will proceed.
Ragnar's going to move right over there, and I want to get a better look at the children.
Of course you do.
Okay.
I want to get a sense of, are they in danger?
I'm hovering by the food area.
At this point, it really looks like the children part of the festival, to be honest with you, is sort of like past. You know what I mean? This is like sort of like a parade in a way.
Moved off.
Where they kind of came out and they did their thing, and now they're almost just kind of sitting off to the side, maybe with their families and stuff, just kind of watching what's happening.
Is the Baron here or here?
Let's see. The Baron is right here right now.
Alaric's gonna head up north, and keep his eye on Ezek.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
Ping it again. I'm sorry.
The other green guy.
Oh, that's a woman. So that's the woman that was riding on the back of the horse. You get the sense that it's maybe the Baron's wife, who you hadn't met yet. It's the Baroness, or at least maybe a very important female. It's the Baron's wife. Like you.
You get the sense it's the Baron's wife. Just.
She had a very plastic kind of like smile and wave as she was coming out, almost like going through the motions herself. She was on the back of the white horse.
She just kind of had like a Hillary Clinton look.
Yeah.
Hey Dan, if I'm over here, do I get a sense of Vasily?
So I was just gonna say, Vasily, as you walk over there, he leans over and he says, he goes, you made it. He goes, yeah, get ready for all the ridiculous activity here. Please just kind of, bear with this, I suppose.
So I look at him and I raise an eyebrow and I say, Vasily, I got a real strange feeling about all this. Is anyone in danger right now?
He lowers his voice and he says, no. He says, if we just follow the Baron's lead, let him go through the motions, people will have some fun and disperse, and everything will be fine.
A quick question. I smelled pitch and I noticed the oil. Has anyone ever been burned alive at one of these things?
Huh? He says, my God, no. He goes, I think the Baron intends to light that thing into a big ball of fire as a grand spectacle. The last festival, we had wolf heads that suddenly came running out in this big parade of a big pack of wolves, simulated pack of wolves that ran around the square as everybody kind of was impressed, I guess, by that.
Are there any activities to partake in here? You know, some cornhole, anything like that?
No, everyone is really attentive at this point. No, there's no games like that. Everybody's like very attentive to like what's happening right now, and so this is kind of progressing. So if there's not anything you want to do, I'll explain what the Baron does next.
Okay.
You guys Alaric, you kind of reposition a little bit. Ezek is standing there, very almost bored looking, kind of standing by his guards, kind of watching the Baron. He doesn't seem concerned at all that anything's gonna go wrong. You know what I mean? He's like sort of like the bouncer at the nightclub that never has any fights. So he's like not even like worried.
Yeah. The day is still young, my friend.
As the burgomaster wheels his horse over to the wooden sphere, with an arrogant smile on his yellow-painted face, a single high-pitched chirping screech is heard from above. Only a few of the Valachians seem to notice it at first, but a rising chorus of dozens follow it. Hundreds of clicking, chirping screeches, and the sound of leathery wings on the air as a wave of thousands of bats pour across the sky, casting the town square into surreal twilight darkness. The ravens that were perched up here suddenly sort of disappear. Just in the sort of chaos and the cacophony of just motion and the bats kind of just. I mean, they come down from the east to the west. Over the top of this building, but it blots out the sky, and it almost makes it feel like it's a weird...
like the arrows in 300.
Right.
Yeah.
The burgomaster, his face is now illuminated by this blazing torch in the sudden dark, whirls around in circles, and defiantly leans down to thrust the flame into this sun sphere in front of him. However, as the bats pass, and they do pass, they don't like linger and kind of stay. They just kind of move. They just pass right through the west side of town. The sound of their wings is replaced by the sound of heavy rain chasing the bats. Progress from east to west, covering Vallaki in a torrential downpour. As the flames of the Burgomaster Varga's torch begin to leap up into the oil-soaked sphere, it is all extinguished under the sheets of water that soak the town square. People are kind of like irritated by the rain and running around. All flames are extinguished. The sky torn open with heavy rain. The bats have disappeared.
Did this rain seem to come out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
Does this seem like the rain that was following us before?
Yes.
Okay.
Very similar in the nature of how it just sort of spontaneously came to be. How
does the burgomaster look like he's reacting?
He seems to be just, even though the rain, even though his torch is out, he seems very determined, even though it's fruitless at this point, to try to light this wicker ball into flames, and he's doing the best he can, and he keeps shoving it in there. And
Ragnar
then
was watching, and he ran over to Spargle and grabbed him and said, "Do you have any tricks that you can light that sphere up, Spargle? I think we need you to do something."
Okay. Let me see something here real quick.
I can create a small campfire.
Try to make it look like you didn't do it, though.
I can create a small campfire.
I got. Unless I want it to know everybody, it's me. I need to get a little closer, though.
Jump on my back.
Okay, so I follow him. So we kind of like are strolling by, and then I'll do. I can do even just. Let me see here. I think I can do just.
I'll fake trip all dramatically, Spargle. Draw some attention away from you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I do like try to do light the candle. I had to get within 10 feet in, but I do try to ignite that. I try to go like from this, maybe like from if I see, I know like fire, right? So I'm gonna try to find if there's a spot a little bit more into the bramble and pitch and all that kind of stuff, so it's not maybe as soaked, and try to light it from there.
Okay, what are you using?
Prestidigitation. I can instantaneously light torches, campfires.
Okay. All right, so you roll up and kind of sneak behind the thing. Ragnar causes a little bit of a distraction. Ragnar, make a performance check.
Sure.
Yeah, so you roll up and you're an odd looking character to the rest of the Valachians. You kind of spin and cause a moment of a distraction where everybody kind of looks over at you, enough that Spargle's able to get underneath this wicker sun and light it from underneath, and so it starts to light, and the Baron he smiles and he says, "Yes. All will be well," as half of the crowd starts to clap.
With only half the crowd.
Mm-hmm. The other half look confused. They look around a little bit. It wasn't enough to like catch it on fire, so it's still kind of smoldering, so to speak, but it started to light enough that the Baron seemed to feel that he was successful. What's Irina doing? What are you guys doing with Irina right now?
I don't know. I'm fucked up. I'm like pissed. I'm mad. I'm still trying to eat
standing
food.
next to her, keeping an eye on her.
Did Irina wind up rolling a Constitution check for those meatballs?
She did, and
Okay.
she was okay.
All right.
Please don't call out my dungeon master like that. It's embarrassing for me.
I was just curious, all right?
Yep. No, she ate one of the pies and she kind of felt mellow like the rest of you guys, but she didn't kind of go fully like tripping her.
You're gonna jinx the DM, and then we're gonna break up the group. Just don't do that.
Okay, so we're like, I'm with Irina. I'm standing next to her, so.
All right.
Where are you at, Deckard? Why can't I see her?
Oh, you can't see him.
I'm over here.
Yeah, he's right above Thoradin. It's hard to see.
I see. Okay. Oh, there's Irina. Okay.
So, despite Spargle's best intentions, the torrential rain continues to flood this ball, and eventually it just isn't enough for it to catch. It dilutes the pitch and the oil and the tar, and it just doesn't light. And the Baron starts jamming his torch, his now not lit torch into this ball, and it just won't go. And he keeps saying, all will be well. And suddenly the crowd gets a little quiet, like uncomfortable.
I whisper to. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I whisper to Ragnar. Should I put a little bit more oomph into it, or
Well,
does it
well,
does it matter?
I think we got a choice to make. If we don't get this fire going, I think someone's going to show up. Those bats didn't look good. That rain doesn't feel good.
Okay.
So we got to make a choice now.
All right, so I spit into each hand, and then I put together, and then when I cast Fireball, I can orient it like from a spot, right? Is that correct, Dan? It's not like it shoots from me, I don't think, right? Or does it?
I don't know.
No, it does. It streaks from my pointing finger.
Right into the back of the sock.
Shit. How close is the Baron to this pitch ball?
He's on the other side of it, sticking a torch into it, trying to get it to light.
Okay, this might be a little more obvious, but so, like underhand, like, female team softball, I'll throw a chromatic orb up into that ball of pitch.
Okay.
Fire, obviously.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you light the orb on fire, and it starts to it that helps it. It really catches fire then now. And the Baron's again this big broad smile on his face as what he had hoped would happen happens.
Did anyone seem to notice?
It's really raining and it's loud right now, so no one really was paying too much attention. So I think you were able to kind of get it going. Yeah. So the ball catches. This orb now is just burning in the center of the square. The Baron looks really happy. Some of the people were kind of looking around and almost like disappointed that it worked out for the Baron. So at that, this ball kind of burns in the center of the square. What else would you guys like to do?
Are the bats still around?
No, the bats kind of passed through, and the rain kind of followed them.
But it's still raining, right?
Yeah, it's still raining.
And so now that this thing is lit, like, what's going on? What's the crowd doing?
The crowds are kind of like now are just kind of looking around like, okay, is there like what else? Like, can we go home now? It's sort of like that was the grand finale,
right?
And now the crowd's just kind of like looking around. The Baron seems pleased with himself. And yeah, people are just sort of milling about now. Ezek is standing on the stage, or on that like platform. The guards are standing around. No one seems to be causing any trouble.
Are there any meat pies left?
There's still a line over by the meat pies. That seems to be like one of the only popular attractions right now.
Can I cut the line?
You could try, or you can get in line.
Well, I'm gonna just go to the front of the line.
Jennifer's gonna go with them. Power in numbers.
While
Hey,
they're doing
Juniper,
that,
let's try and get some meat pies.
while they go online, I'm gonna quick look at Spargle and just say, "Good job on the fireball."
The Baron and his mastiffs and the lady, his wife, Baroness, kind of bid everyone farewell and retire back into the building that they all came out of. You guys get in line and snag some more pies.
Well, I don't know if I get in line. I definitely go to the front of the line and ask about pies.
It moves pretty quickly, and you're able to grab another one if you'd like.
Oh yeah, so fucking absolutely. Hey Juniper, you want one?
I will take 2. Thank you.
What?
I will take 2. Thank you.
All right, 3 it is.
All right, 2. All right, 3 it'll be.
3 for each.
I'll have 5.
I'll have 5.
So I have 8 pies.
Yep, and
Yep.
So when you guys get your hands on them, it's the same story as before. Like that is like immediately. That's what's happening.
Are we in line?
You've got no. Thornton and Juniper got through the line and grabbed a whole bunch of pies. They're just throwing gold out. They're just grabbing these pies,
Yeah.
and you see them, Spargle. You see them have the pies, and you go running. You run over, I assume.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab some pies too. I go up to here. I sneak up to the front of the line and I do a minor illusion to create a screen behind this guy right here, his head. You know, so he turns and then I sneak right in front of the line and ask for a pie. Ask for pies.
All right. So you guys get these. People start getting like they're pushy. You're pushy, but they kind of see you guys, and even though everyone in the line is really anxious to get another pie, they're like really apprehensive about your crew. So as much as they want, their place in line, they let you guys grab yours. You guys huddle over to the side, scarf down a couple more pies. Same effect as before.
I belly up to the spot right next to Thoradin, plop down, and go at my pie.
As you guys are doing that, Ezek steps down off of the stage, and the guards kind of follow line as he starts to comb the air. He's starting to comb the area to kind of like, all right, everybody go home now. Party's over.
Yeah, Alark, you're up.
Sort of his job. 2 things. Deckard, can you make a perception check? And this is a smell.
Okay.
The story of birds.
What is that?
I don't know if that means you get advantage or you just get an extra
does. Yeah,
bump.
I get advantage.
Okay.
I rolled a 12 and the next one. $19 plus 2, so 21.
All right. Sent you a text message on what you found out. As you guys are, and as Ezek is coming through, he's walking around. He barely is making eye contact with anybody. He's looking around.
Wait, where's he at? I'm sorry. I thought he left with the group. Oh.
No, the Baron did.
Okay, I didn't realize. Sorry.
He's doing like
I
at the end
can't
of the night.
read the name because
Out
of the
of
other
the
one,
bar.
so I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, he's going around saying closing time.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? And he's so he's very like robotic and like he's done this every 2 weeks for his entire life. until Juniper and Ragnar, you're kind of closest to him and you're watching. Ezek suddenly freezes. Like, for a guy who's so big and kind of like just not dumb, like, I don't want to say dumb, but just sort of not like, you know, just disconnected from like his surroundings usually, because he's just the big guy that just walks around. And you two see him suddenly, his eyes go wide, and he's like, he's got this look of like shock. His jaw has dropped. He's staring at Irina. And he's just staring at her. And then suddenly
he didn't see her before.
He starts smashing his own guards out of the way. And he's like, you hear him, Juniper, you hear him say something along the lines of, it's you. You're real. As he's charging towards Irina.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is he giving off like rapey vibes, or is it like, what is it?
Don't know yet. Ragnar, Vasili's right behind you.
Ugh.
And he goes, hey, that's not good. I don't know what's going on here. You should get her out of here. I've never seen him do that before.
Okay.
All right, you're up, big guy.
So Ragnar is kind of fleet of foot, even though he's a small dwarf, and he's gonna kind of run as fast as his little dwarf legs can take him up to Irina, and just be like, "Lassie, you better get out of here. Trouble's coming your way. I'll create a distraction."
And as quick as you get there, Ezek is full sprint at this point, running towards Irina, trampling over commoners, guards. He is just a raging bull heading towards the red cape.
So I'll look at Deckard real quick because he's the only sane one, and I'll look at Deckard and point at Irina and nod, and then I'm gonna throw myself on the ground in front of Ezek, in hopes of him like tripping over me.
Juniper kind of gets on the ground and presses her palms to the ground and uses mold earth to turn everything 30 feet in front of her and 5 feet across into difficult terrain.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Well, I was going to just throw myself on the floor, but you went and did something cool.
So then Thoradin throws himself on the floor too. He doesn't. Everyone's doing it.
All right.
Deckard.
Go ahead.
Well, Juniper's simultaneously, Deckard grabs Irina and starts leading her out of the square.
All Lark's been doing throughout all this, I mean, I don't know exactly where everybody ended up, but he was still just following Ezek. So if he was going back towards, like heading west or whatever, or towards the group or out of the center, he was just following him, keeping his distance.
Wait, I lost your token.
Yeah. I'm right in the mix.
Right above
Ezek.
Ezek.
He's right above Ezek. I assume Ezek has moved since where he's at now, based on what you said.
Is Alaric on the floor too?
Yeah, so Ezek is charging this way. Guards ran out of his way. You're kind of like
I'm just trying to keep
right behind
pace
him.
with him, whatever I can do. So
You're like
Yeah, Juniper's there. Yep. This is cool. Okay, got it. So kind of like that. Ezek's doing this, like kind of tearing over here. All right, so I hate rushing things. So it's 11 o'clock now. If you guys want to play a little bit longer, we can keep going. If it's getting late for you guys, there's a lot that's gonna happen after
it's
this.
it's getting late for me.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
I hate to be a party pooper, but it's bad.
I'd rather, me too, because I'd rather
gonna start
be
falling
like
asleep.
fresh for this.
Well, I'm gonna start the next session. You guys are rolling initiative. So I wrote.
I love it.
I wrote down what Juniper just did, which is great. Vasily is kind of trying to help, but Ezek, you guys don't know what's going on, but Ezek is like laser focused on Irina for some unknown reason and charging right at her. His guards are reluctantly kind of like they were like, what the fuck's going on? Like they've never seen this happen before, but now they're like kind of filling in behind him. And that's where we're at. We'll say that's how it went.
Nice.
And we'll pick up right there and at the moment of sparking some action at the beginning of the next session.
I love it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Man, if I have to go wolf in the middle of this square.
All right, I'll end the stream here then.
Could get interesting. Yeah, man, this is good stuff.
I hope he doesn't have silvered weapons.